A sheriff's deputy injured. What led up to it? But first, it has been a rainy morning all across the metro as we kick off the show here at noon. This is video from Midtown, but we saw scenes like this all around the metro. Really soggy out there. And this is a live look at the Atlanta skyline this hour. Severe storms potential are expected to move in later on today. Meteorologist Chesley McNeil is here to break it all down for us. So we're talking heavy rain, possibility for flooding, tornado.
We've already seen the flooding in a lot of spots. Yeah, there is the potential for flooding. We've already saturated, so any amount of rain that comes down is going to cause those rivers and streams to swell their banks. And also on the roadways as well. We're seeing a lot of ponding, a lot of river water rescues taking place, especially up to the north where we've already had that rain continue to push through. And it's still raining out there. You can see Circle 75 really inundated, soggy. So if you're traveling around this afternoon, make sure you be careful. Take your time out there. Again, here's another batch of heavy rain. Here's the first one that pushed through, and then here's another line that's coming through almost the same areas. And so we'll be dealing with that. Just a few lightning strikes. Nothing severe right now, but we do have that very heavy rain pushing through Paulding County. You can see over toward Dallas right now. That's going to continue over toward Douglasville, eventually into the city of Atlanta, and then further down to the south and east over toward McDonough into Henry County. You'll be dealing with some of this heavy rain as well. Again, just a few lightning strikes around. We haven't seen anything severe yet, but those winds, even in these thunderstorms, are up to about 40 miles per hour. That's knocking over some trees. Got some loose limbs being reported blowing around. Up here toward Cartagena, we got some moderate to heavy rain over toward northern parts of Dawson County as well. This is just to the north of Juneau here. We'll continue to watch this because if you look off to the west of us, notice how the thunderstorms are starting to sink a little bit further down to the south. And I think that will affect mainly the central and southern portions of the state. For us, we'll be dealing with the rain, but isolated thunderstorms are still possible. We still have a flood watch that remains in effect up here to the north until 8 o'clock. Generally speaking, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, but we've been seeing some higher amounts already. This will continue to sink southward. We'll keep the showers in the forecast at least to about 9 o'clock tonight, and then we'll clear out and temperatures will drop tonight. I'm going to tell you how cold it's going to get in the full forecast coming up. Sheba, back to you.
But just as we have overcome challenges in the past, Atlanta will get to the other side of this COVID crime wave, and we will get this violence under control.
This is new since Morning Rush. Atlanta's mayor unveiling an ambitious plan to tackle the jump in violent crime in her State of the City address. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms even calling gun violence a public health emergency. She admitted the crime numbers included in her speech last year are vastly different than what's going on in Atlanta this year. Tracy A. McPeer joining us live with much more from the mayor's State of the City.
Well, one of the major concerns and criticisms in Atlanta is the increase of violent crimes from year to year. Now, the latest numbers show that so far in 2021, murders are up 80%, aggravated assaults are up 47%, and auto thefts, now that includes carjackings, are up 47% from the same period last year. In her address, Mayor Bottoms says Atlanta is not alone in rising gun crime. She said the pandemic made the situation worse and says to help cut down on violent crime, they're adding 250 officers to the streets in the next year, and that 90 are in the pipeline right now. She says they are using $5 million of the American Rescue Plan money to expand the city's Cure Violence program. And other initiatives are also in place, like adding $3 million for 250 new cameras and license plate readers, and also increasing de-escalation training for new APD recruits and existing officers.
Since the beginning of the year, APD has made 216 gun-related arrests. They are using air units, including helicopters and drone technology, to spot street racing activities in progress and stop them in their tracks. APD is relying on camera technology with our Operation Shield camera network.
Mayor Bottoms also addressed the ongoing water boys issue, saying they will work to help redirect them toward jobs or re-enrollment in school. She also talked about affordable housing, completing the Beltline, and new uses for the city jail. Now you can see her entire address. Just go to the YouTube channel for 11Alive News.
Tracy, thank you. And happening right now, 3 different groups are rallying over the state's new voting law, all of them very close to the state capitol. This is a look at the protest and speakers inside Trinity United Methodist Church in downtown Atlanta. From within the hour, Georgia's new law requires an ID to apply for an absentee ballot, limits the number of drop boxes, and makes it a misdemeanor to hand out food or water to voters waiting in line, among many changes. Opponents are calling it another form of voter suppression. And now a 3rd lawsuit has been filed in federal court in an effort to overturn the new law.
This law is voter suppression, plain and simple. It's an absolutely shameful response to the historic participation by these communities in the last election cycle.
The 2 other lawsuits were filed by the New Georgia Project last week and the Georgia NAACP on Monday. Republicans, including Governor Brian Kemp, continue to defend the law, saying it makes it easier to vote. Also happening at the state capitol today, a last-ditch push for new legislation. Today is sine die, marking the end of the legislative session. Bills looking to make it to the governor's desk have to make it past both the Georgia House and Senate by the end of the day. It's going to be a long day. Joe Ripley takes a closer look at a few bills we're watching.
Georgia lawmakers must find a way to agree to pass a $27 billion budget for the next fiscal year, which starts on July 1st. That's the top priority on sine die. The Star-Spangled Banner, sung for the first time since day 1. On day 40, other laws worth watching include an overhaul of Georgia's citizens' arrest law. The measure is back in the House and would severely limit who can make an arrest after a crime is committed. Loosen gun restrictions, online sports betting, and permanent daylight saving time are a few other bills up for discussion in a late push to get passed.
There's going to be a flurry of bills that we're going to agree and some's going to disagree, and as usual, sometimes there's some hurt feelings because their issue didn't get heard this year, but come midnight tonight, it's all over.
Bills that have already made it through the General Assembly and have been signed by Governor Brian Kemp: the election overhaul and state income tax cut. As for the bills lawmakers have passed and await the governor's signature: alcoholic drinks to go, which would potentially boost sales from a dip in business over the last year. Lawmakers also gave the green light to a statewide crackdown on street racing. That now sits on the governor's desk. The General Assembly will reconvene here in the fall to deal with redistricting in advance of the 2022 election cycle.
This is developing right now. Atlanta police investigating yet another shooting on the interstate. It happened just a few minutes before midnight along I-75-85 South. Officers say they responded to a person shot at the Chevron off University Avenue near Pryor Road. And that's where they found the 39-year-old victim shot twice in the shoulder. He told officers a dark-colored sedan drove up next to his car and someone started shooting. This is at least the 9th interstate shooting in Metro Atlanta this year. And new details on a shooting out of Douglas County. The GBI says the suspect is dead. A sheriff's deputy shot in the leg while responding to an armed robbery at a motorsports dealership. It happened last night off Thornton Road in Lithia Springs. An 11Alive photojournalist capturing crime scene tape outside Mountain Motorsports. The sheriff's office says at some point while the deputy had been responding to the incident, the shooting happened, killing the suspect and leaving the deputy wounded. This is being called an officer-involved shooting. Just to be clear here, the GBI is now investigating. And an update on a small plane crash in Floyd County. We're told the pilot who died earlier this week was inspecting damage and flooding from the recent storms. The coroner says the 79-year-old was from Alabama. He was the only person on board. Investigators believe the plane hit power lines, causing it to crash. And some promising news on the vaccine front, and this is new at midday. Pfizer says its COVID vaccine is 100% effective in preventing the illness in young teens. That's kids as young as 12, so almost a teenager. The company plans to request emergency use approval for that age group in the coming weeks, with hopes to start getting them vaccinated before the start of next school year. The 2-dose vaccine is already cleared for emergency use in people 16 and older. It's important to note here the findings of this study have not been peer-reviewed. It was also a much smaller trial compared to the adult trials. More than 2,200 young teenagers were enrolled. Compare that to the 43,000 plus who participated in the adult trials. So if you are fully vaccinated, don't throw away that vaccination card. The CDC says it could be your ticket to going places as more things begin to open up. Here are 3 things you can do to keep your card safe. Take a picture of it. Make sure you have a copy in case you misplaced your original one. Get it laminated to help preserve it. Staples, Office Depot, and Office Max will do it for you for free. And finally, if you've already thrown yours out, the CDC says contact the place where you got the shot so you can get a new one. This is big news out of New York City here. Police making an arrest in the brutal attack on a 65-year-old Asian woman. He's been identified as Brandon Elliott. Police say he's a lifetime parolee, a man who served 17 years in prison for stabbing his mother to death. Elliott was seen stomping and kicking the woman while yelling anti-Asian slurs earlier this week. And while she lay on the ground, the building's doorman was seen ignoring the brutal attack and closing the door. He has now been suspended. It is day 3 of the Derek Chauvin murder trial in Minneapolis, and there is more eyewitness testimony today. People at the scene of the incident last May say they wanted to help George Floyd, but police held them back. Emotional testimony yesterday from the EMT who just happened to be there on the scene off duty. She says she saw Floyd, thought he needed medical attention immediately. On the stand, she said she was told to go to the sidewalk with the rest of those who were watching.
There was a man being killed. I would have been able to provide medical attention to the best of my abilities, and this human was denied that right.
It is her second day on the stand today. The prosecution stepping into a more scientific area today, bringing in some medical experts and also some police trainers and other experts. We'll be sure to keep you updated on that on the 11Alive News at 5. Helping in the middle of the storm, one Newnan family sharing their experiences when the tornado hit, why they weren't together, and how they were finally able to reunite. We'll be right back.
So that it doesn't happen again.
Is your morning routine feeling a little routine?
Then mix it up. Morning Rush is different.
It's the fast-paced news you need
With all the energy of your morning coffee. Come see the difference on Morning Rush, weekdays on 11Alive.
Weather can't run from the all-new 11Alive Thunder Truck, a mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge.
Here in Atlanta, bad weather means bad traffic. A few drops of rain could destroy a commute. But that's where my man Crash Clark comes in. I go street level, he goes next level. Together, we make sure you get to work on time. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive. Hey, quick, open up your phone camera right now. Aim it at the screen to download 11Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the peach trees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11Alive Storm Trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. For Storm Trackers, only on 11Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some of the first seniors to get the vaccine.
We are continuing to stay on top of the aftermath from that powerful tornado that hit the city of Newnan. We're following the story of a father and firefighter who risked his life to save his neighbors that night, while his wife took action to save their family. 11Alive's Palosoro talked to the couple on how they got through this difficult night apart.
March 25th, 11:45 p.m.
It was constant lightning. It was yellow and green outside.
Rebecca Scott grabs her 1-year-old daughter from the second floor of her brand new home on Smoky Road to shelter in the first floor bathroom.
And I just laid down on top of her in the bathroom floor. And I just prayed that it would just be over.
Miles away, her husband, Jason Scott, working hour 15 of his 24-hour shift as a Newnan firefighter.
Our radio just started going crazy. Tornado hit here, tornado hit here, people trapped, cars flipped, like it just started going crazy.
His mind goes to Rebecca.
All went quiet, and then we started hearing water. And that's when I opened the door to the bathroom and saw water coming from the second floor.
75% of that second floor now open to the sky. The bedroom where her 1-year-old was sleeping in an hour earlier collapsing.
Called my chief and I said, look, my house has been hit by the tornado. He didn't even pause for a second or anything. He said, go.
He tries to pull up to the driveway of the home they moved into 1 month ago, but it's covered by dozens of trees.
Becca climbing over the trees and holding the baby. And even our dog, she saved our dog. I've been to fires where the family loses their home and their pet.
Jason dropped his family off at his aunt's house and went back to work an hour later, helping his neighbors recover from what his family just lost. The neighbor is helping right back.
The community, you can just tell they really love Newnan, and they will do anything to try to get our community back, to somewhat of normalcy.
Well, anything but normal on the outside right now. We are looking at some very heavy rain coming down. In fact, let me show you the radar real quick here. You can see where we got that heavy rain pushing right toward the perimeter. That's where you're going to find it as we head through the afternoon. Nothing severe, but heavy enough that you need to be on alert because that rain will cause some flooding, or has a history of causing some flooding. There's been a few lightning strikes here and there, and we've been following this one that's moving into the city right now. We've been clocking anywhere from 5 to 7 to 10 lightning strikes. That's as high as we've gotten so far, and you can count them probably on one hand, the lightning strikes that we have down around now, over toward Ackworth, over toward Kennesaw. This is moving into Marietta. Very heavy rain over Marietta right now, headed towards Smyrna as well. This will eventually push into South Fulton County. We'll get into Atlanta as well. Right around the perimeter, it's going to be some hefty travel there. Tricky travel as this continues to push through. Right along I-20 over into Douglas County, we do have some very heavy rain, a few lightning strikes every now and again. You'll find those. Winds in these thunderstorms up to about 40, 45 miles per hour, so not at the severe criteria as of yet, but we'll watch them and see if they get stronger as they push a little bit further down to the south, where we've had a little bit of sunshine breaking through in some spots, and so we'll watch that, especially once this gets over toward Henry County, for example, down toward Spalding County as well. The flash flood watch is up here to the north. We'll say Atlanta northward is where you're going to find that, where we've already seen reports of water rescues, also seen reports of water standing on roadways, that kind of thing, shutting down of roads because of that. Where you see these dark hashes here, that's where we have flood warnings on some of the area creeks and streams there. But we're watching for the potential of flooding in this area where we've already had the rain, and it's going to continue to move through as we head through the afternoon. Generally speaking, 1 to 2 inches, but there have been reports of much higher amounts, and so we'll see that as we head through the rest of the afternoon. 4 out of a possible 11 today on the wazometer, with 74 for your afternoon high temperature. Warm front just to the north of us will continue to push northward as that cold front begins to move through. Now you'll notice, and I'm noticing a couple things on the radar here, you'll notice how this line here of the heavy thunderstorms are starting to shift a little bit further down to the south. So our southernmost counties and then into the central portions of the state, I think we'll get the brunt of the severe weather this afternoon. Notice the winds out of the south here, back behind it out of the north. That will continue to push through, and much colder air will start to push in to our area later on tonight. Now the severe thunderstorm risk remains at a level 2 over Atlanta southward. You can see that extends up here to the north into Banks County, Athens included in this. This is a level 2. A slight risk out of a possible 5, damaging winds, hail, the major threat. The tornado threat is low, but we can't rule out a brief spin up or two. Notice the marginal threats extended still further up to the north, mainly the form of flooding is where we're going to be looking at that. And so just to recap that, you can see we have a moderate threat for severe winds, right? Damaging winds to take place. Those winds up to about 60, 70 miles per hour at times. But the flooding threat is very, very high, where we've already had a lot of rain and now even more coming into the forecast area. Here we are, our forecast track model. It shows that heavy rain pushing a little bit further down to the south. By the time we hit 4 o'clock, we still got rain in the metro and northward. So we'll be still watching for that flooding threat, but I think the thunderstorms shift a little bit further down to the south. We're going to hold on to isolated or scattered showers in the forecast through early evening. Overnight, the clouds will begin to break down and colder air will start to evect or push in. And so we'll be looking at temperatures getting down into the 30s for overnight lows on Thursday morning. By the afternoon, we're only going to be rising into the low 50s for highs, but when you factor in the winds that we'll have behind this front, it will feel much colder than that. And guess what? We're going to stay on the chilly side, if you will, for the next couple of days. Today, we got that 4 on the barometer with a 90% chance of the rain. It's raining out there right now, heavy at times. We'll get the sunshine around for Thursday and Friday, but look at these temperatures. Only in the 50s. 32 degree start on Friday morning. We'll get up to 48. The good news is that we'll modify those temperatures a bit as we head into the weekend. You're looking at 65 degrees on Saturday with a 10 on the barometer. 11Alive day. And 11 on the barometer, you can't see it right here because we're showing you Easter Sunday. 72 degrees will be the high temperature and will remain on the warm side as we head into next week. Looking at temperatures getting into the upper 70s by Tuesday. We're back right after this. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the peach trees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11Alive storm trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. For storm trackers, only on 11Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some.
When you hear long hauler, you might think of adults who've had the coronavirus, but some doctors say children diagnosed with the rare post-COVID illness MIS-C are having longer symptoms. Lauren Zakalik explains.
11-year-old Kaysen Abbott spends the majority of his days sleeping.
He will sleep until probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then he gets up and I fix him something to eat.
A far cry from the active 5th grader he used to be before MIS-C.
It's one day at a time. He can't do any kind of physical activity right now.
We first told you about Kaysen in December. The Abilene boy was being treated at Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth for multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C. It's a rare, severe illness children can get after having COVID, says Dr. Suzanne Whitworth of Cook Children's.
We've had 94 so far, just since the start of the pandemic.
And yes, they are still seeing MIS-C cases.
I think that parents should know that children can develop MIS-C even if the parents are not aware that the child had COVID.
MIS-C is marked by high fever, inflammation, significant abdominal pain, vomiting, and more. So bad, the kids end up hospitalized.
COVID was really a walk in the park compared to MIS-C. And then now we were affected with this long haulers.
That's right. Mom Angie says her son's also been diagnosed as having long COVID, also rare in children, where symptoms persist long after the infection.
Just fatigue, joint pain. He runs a fever off and on.
Angie isn't sure if it's the MIS-C or long COVID symptoms, but months after recovering from COVID, Kaysen is still unable to do much but sleep. He makes regular trips to Cook Children's and hasn't been in school since December.
I don't know when Case will return back to a normal life. I hope it's soon.
She shares their story so parents remain aware.
Here in Atlanta, bad weather means bad traffic. A few drops of rain could destroy a commute. But that's where my man Crash Clark comes in. I go street level, he goes next level. Together, we make sure you get to work on time. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive. Hey, quick, open up your phone camera right now. Aim it at the screen to download 11Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the peach trees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11Alive storm trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. The storm trackers, only on 11Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some of the first seniors to get the vaccine.
This epidemic can come to an end.
We do have a flash flood warning that just popped up here.
The fallout of this is just beginning.
The bigger questions are the longer legal ramifications.
Morning news should be both informative and fun. Gone are the days where we're speaking at you. On Morning Rush, we're speaking with you.
So connect with us, talk to us.
Think of it as a conversation.
Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
She is so incredibly talented, mighty, and fearless, and now she's bringing her vocal skills to NBC's The Voice. We're talking about pop singer Ariana Grande announcing on Twitter that she'll be joining as a coach. Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, and Blake Shelton will all still be there as they battle for the best singers. Ariana says that she is beyond thrilled, honored, and excited. Now that's something I can get excited about. Thank you so much for watching 11Alive News at noon. Have a great day, everybody. Please be safe out there.
Making sure this history isn't erased.
So that it doesn't happen again.
Is your morning routine feeling a little routine?
Then mix it up. Morning Rush is different.
It's the fast-paced news you need
With all the energy of your morning coffee. Come see the difference on Morning Rush, weekdays on 11Alive.
Weather can't run from the all-new 11Alive Thunder Truck, a mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms.